In this costume and makeup tutorial, we're going to learn how to become a Club Penguin penguin. Daddy has decided to do this himself because he saw the prices being charged at fancy dress costume shops. And I should say Mummy helped as well. And you know what? I had a whole lot of fun doing this, and I'll be able to show you some little tricks to creating really inexpensive and creative costumes. Because this is an instructional, I better throw up this title. In this video, I'm going to attempt to turn my daughter into a blue penguin from Club Penguin. Notably, it's got white eyes, a yellow beak, it's got some white on the front, and it's got some, what would you call that, yellow shoes or feet. Yesterday down in the workshop, I grabbed one of Mummy's old slippers that looks like that. There's a slipper underneath, and I cut a piece of foam out in the shape of a penguin foot. And looking underneath, I've just used contact adhesive to apply the foam to the old slipper, and that foam is just from one of those really cheap and nasty exercise mats that you buy from $2 shops, and hopefully that'll be a real simple way to pull that off. I went out and got some face paint and body paint and something to apply with, and I've got a few bowls there that I'll use to put it through, and I've got a bowl of water. Well, I'm up to the point of getting the makeup onto my daughter's face. I'm not a MichellePhan or KittiesMama of makeup on YouTube. I've got a shape here which represents the beak, and I've got a shape here which represents the eyes, and that'll become a hard black outline. I think you do the black outline and you put the colour to the black outline. I can't remember last time I did makeup. I was doing Ace Frehley back in 1980. But my daughter's had a look at that. What do you think of that makeup so far?
Yeah, it's great. It's really good.
So my biggest critic is going to be my daughter, because she needs to look like
this blue penguin from the book.
Yes, it's book week.
Yeah.
So every book week you've got to dress up as a character, and we're going as a blue penguin. I got a surprise for you. Hey, I got a surprise for you. They do kiss, penguins do kiss. To do my outlines, I found at the $2 shop for $2.50 some face painting crayons, they call them, and they seem to be fairly effective. This guy certainly agrees. And inside there is a whole bunch of different colours that you can turn around and have at the top, and I've got black at the top because I'm doing the outlines. You know, I also bought black as a paint to do as an outline, but I'm going with the crayon. I don't know, I've probably got more faith in doing a crayon than I have doing a brush as a line, but we'll see. And I'll probably make this quite thick. And my daughter's wearing a blue tracksuit, and Mummy last night went and sewed on a white, I think it's a singlet or something, just tucked it around and sewed it onto the front to give the front white piece, which probably in all terms should come up here and join up with underneath the beak, but the singlet was really only big enough to put a front piece on like that. And the reason why I'm doing this myself is that fancy dress costume places where I live are actually quite expensive. I'd be up for a couple $100 to hire something like this, and then all I've really had to do is use a bit of old foam with some old slippers, some old clothes, a little bit of makeup that I had to buy, and we don't have places like Walmart where I live, so to find the makeup was quite difficult. To buy little pots of this was $8 a pop, which is, I don't know whether that's a good price or a bad price. I've got up to the next stage now, and the outline is done with those crayons from the $2 shop. I'm actually thinking of doing a little bit of an extra smile as well. I'm not sure whether that's going to be the go. It's funny, you know, I've watched special effects makeup people many times through my work, but I've never done this, and it's, once you actually go in and have to do it yourself, it's a totally different experience. It's actually quite challenging to do this. I'm just doing a test on the back of my hand to see how this paint goes on, how I can draw up to a line, because I'm a complete and utter novice at this. Oh, it seems quite easy. I'm using a little foam applicator. This is the moment of truth for Daddy here. Can Daddy pull this off, or will it be a penguin disaster? I want to rock and roll all night, and party every day. Yeah, man, I'm dying to put Ace Frehley on my face. Crazy Daddy. Yeah, doing this is a lot more difficult than I expected. I've actually found that using a paintbrush is a bit better to apply this painty type makeup. Well, I've done the part around the eyes, and what was nice was that this paint is water soluble, so if I made a mistake and I went onto the crayon line, the makeup crayon, I could easily just wipe it away and the black would remain, because it seems to not be very water soluble, this black crayon. Well, getting there, I'm not even going to go near the eyes. I'm just going to leave them as they are. It's just too difficult when you get up near the eyes. It's too sensitive to do stuff near the eyes. And what we're going to do next, a beak. Yellow beak. Let me just go and the funny, I did have some black on the lips here, and maybe you just need some lip balm or something. A bit dry, but we just did a little bit of a smile there, and I'll paint in the yellow in this area here. It's a bit, I really don't know what to do about the smile. Maybe I should have gone onto YouTube and researched a few videos first, but this is the first time I've done this. Hopefully it will empower you if you're going to have a go at putting on some makeup. Mummy came up with a good idea, and we've got an inverted beanie as a head of a blue penguin, and now we're coming in for a bit of beak action. I'm doing the beak. It's funny, penguins don't have noses, or the club penguin ones don't seem to have noses. Like Lego minifigures, they can't smell. Well, I've got the yellow beak on, and this is a water-based body paint. And maybe what I should have done, because I did a test on my hand, is you can see the yellow, you can see through my skin there, but where I've painted it over white, it's actually quite strong, so maybe it needed a white base underneath that there. And I think when I've seen other people do makeup stuff, they tend to put a white base on, but then again, I could be totally wrong. I'm just a guy trying to do what girls normally do. Isn't that right, dear?
Yeah.
Well, I've done a second coat around the yellow beak. The last bit to do is the blue around that black outline there. So we can finish off the face, and we've been going on for about an hour. I need to stretch my legs, and I think my daughter needs to stretch her legs as well.
Yeah.
Before we get into looking like a real penguin. Coming in for the final scream of blue. Yeah, well, we start. How about this cheek right here? Whoa. Go blue penguin. And what I'll do with this blue line is I've defined the outside line first, and then I'll come in and I'll cut in from the outside line there and cut into the black line there, and I'll go around, I'll paint. I'll probably have to do 2 coats from what it looks like, and our blue penguin will be singing and dancing. Well, after an hour and a half, the makeup is done. How do you think that looks, dear?
Great. Fantastic. Perfect.
Oh, thank you. It's Daddy Club Penguin makeup, and let's have a look at our penguin versus the face. There we are. And I think the bits that I left out, really, the eyes are tricky to do. I mean, I left them with no makeup on, and sort of lips. Mum came in and put some lip gloss on. I can see that yellow face paint cracking a bit there. But anyway, at a distance it looks very good, and I think when I stand her up and she's fully dressed, it's going to be a fantastic little penguin, and inexpensive one at that. Well, there are those feet made from old slippers. There's a bit that Mum said on the front. That penguin's having a stretch because we've been sitting down for hours doing makeup, and now it's off to school for the book parade. Are you ready to show your wares, penguin? Let's do it. Wow, look at that. There's a penguin walking to school, and there's another one following behind. Okay, the penguin's at school, yay! So there it is, all finished. Wow, it took a bit longer than I thought, but it was all real cheap. The penguin face, the penguin suit, thanks to Mummy. And those funny penguin shoes. Looks great. Do you feel like a penguin? Yeah. It's getting close to the Book Week parade. What was quite nice was my daughter was the only Club Penguin there. It's always a challenge to turn up to Book Week and not be a repeat character of someone else who's there. There's always a ton of Star Wars and old classic Disney characters at these events, and I had to do a fair bit of blurring out with the vision here to respect other people's privacy. I know what you're going to say. Show us how you made those silly penguin feet. Well, there's that foam I was talking about. It's that really cheap exercise mattress foam that you get from $2 shops. I think the rolls are about $5 or something. There's one of the feet that I had cut out yesterday, which of course are at school at the moment on my daughter's feet. Let's see how we do another one. Grab a old shoe. Use an old one because we'll be putting glue and goopy stuff all over this. I prefer slippers because slippers don't have a back, and that way my daughter's feet can escape the big penguin foot. So there's your shoe. Grab some foam. And I've taken advantage of there's a natural crease in this foam. I can use that to my advantage. And I can lay the foam in here, like so. And I can feel the shoe under there. And I'm going to cut out a shape like a penguin foot. I'll mark it out and I'll cut it out. So I've got my foam and I've got my shoe under there. I can certainly feel where the shoe is, and I basically came in and did a very freeform style penguin foot. And looking down from above, the penguin foot looks something like this. And then it's a matter of cutting out that foot with the scissors, being nice and careful, because we all know that scissors are sharp and they can cut you. I never thought I'd be cutting out penguin feet for a YouTube video. And now my foam is cut of 1 foot. I can see my bend in this foam is actually assisting me to form onto the shoe, and I'm going to come in and cut out a little bit of foam here so it fits the shoe correctly. And it's going to be a shape like this. Shoes are funny things, they're covered in complex curves. But this foam is fairly forgiving. Let's cut it out and see how it looks. I need another scissor shot because I need a cutaway to go to the next scene. Okay, I've cut out that piece there and I can fit it onto the shoe. It feels great, it feels good around the shoe. The next thing I do is I make another foot. And again, I'm going to pick off what is a natural curve in this foam, because that curve is going to help me. This is so simple. You just lay in the foot that you've already got and you go around with your felt tip marker, and in no time at all you will have another penguin foot. As astonishing as this sounds, I've got 2 penguin feet ready to go on the shoes. Then when you're ready to glue your foam penguin feet to your shoes, a really important part is to mark out where the glue will go on the foam. And if you don't do this, you will have glue everywhere and there'll be a tragic mess. So there, you'll be putting contact adhesive across that area there. You probably do the sides there as well. And on your shoe, you'll be putting contact adhesive over the shoe as well. And it's a matter of putting one with the other, and then that part is done. I've got a few tips for using these contact adhesive glues. Use a brush that will be thrown away. You will not be salvaging the brush once it's been in this glue. When you apply your glue, don't put too much on. One of the things you can really do to make your job hard is by putting too much on, spread it out evenly. And once your glue is on, and the time to bond it to the other piece that you've covered with glue, which would be your shoe, is that this glue surface here has to be dry. You can't have any of the wet area left, and once that glue there touches the other glue, they'll never be separated. And of course you'll be applying glue all over your shoe, but I can't do it to this shoe because this shoe is still one which is in service in the house. This style of glue is used a fair bit in the special effects realm. You can make incredible glue bombs with this. I can't bring this to YouTube because people would get annoyed, but you can make spider webs quite easily with this glue. Look at that there. There's a special cobweb spinning gun which uses that style of glue and makes copious amounts of spider webs. And then if you've imagined I put my glued foot onto my glued shoe, then I used some electrical tape and I just wrapped it round so I got a bonding that would last between the 2 items. And that was the secret of getting the glue to stick to the shoe right round to the edges, something like that. And you let it dry overnight. The next day you come in, the foam is bonded to the foot. You've taken off your electrical tape. It's time to paint. I chose yellow. I think penguins' feet are yellow. Put your yellow spray paint on, all over that foam there. Then the job is done. And once all the gluing and painting is done, you have 2 penguin feet. And of course, these are the first pair that I made. And they were done in slippers. Like I said, I use slippers because then if you get tripped up, you can easily pull your foot out. These have been up to the book parade today. They've been out for a day's wear and tear. They're certainly held together. You can just see how well that glue has bonded with the foam. The other thing I did was I gave a bit of black spray underneath there to take the blue away from underneath, so we had like a black undersole. Anyway, penguin feet. Who would have ever thought? Thanks for watching, and bye for now. Outside line of what the makeup will be, and I will work in from that. I'll cut in from that line there to the black line and hopefully get a good penguin on the move. Wow, look at that! There's a penguin going to school, and there's another one following behind. Oh, come on! Ah! Okay, come on, let's do it. Ah! Then in the morning you come in and you take your electrical tape off and you'll find that your foam is completely bonded to your shoe. Then you come in with a spray pack. What colour are the penguin's feet? I think they were yellow. You spray paint your shoe and the job is done.